Mike's in. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Split Couch Games. My name is Scott. That's Ben,
And I'm Ben.
and we are here for Couchcast number 80. I think it was.
Oh, is that where we're at?
I think we're at 80. Yeah. That would have been a
All
good
right.
thing to double check, but I didn't because I'm really good at this. We're
I mean,
professionals.
it's about on par for what we did last week, so.
Yeah, I mean, at least I have like a ballpark. I thought we were like 73 or something last time. But I know that we're in the 79 to 80 range. Anyway,
Gotcha.
how you doing?
I'm here. I went to bed a little bit late last night because I went and it was like I think it was like just after 10 o'clock. I was sitting there and I was like, you know what, I want to play a quick game of Battlefield 5.
Okay.
And one of the game modes that they have in there is a game mode called Frontlines, and it's essentially like a tug of war type of game mode.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's like a mix between Conquest and Rush almost. So there are, or like you both start out with the same number of capture points currently owned, and then there's a neutral one. You race to capture the neutral one, and then you essentially push the front lines back.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth until you get to like the enemy's home base, if you will. And then once you do that, it unlocks two places that you need to plant bombs, and then you blow those things up, and you win.
Okay.
I've only played a handful of matches in that game mode so far, and they've always been on some of the smaller maps. So there's, in my experience, there has only ever been like 3 total capture points, and it was like a relatively confined map area.
Yeah.
So there, weren't like too many long sight lines. There's plenty of cover, different flanking routes, all that kind of stuff. Kicking my microphone, don't do that. And so I queue up, I load in, and that game is done within like 2 minutes because I joined at like the very, very end.
Did your team win?
So I'm like, no,
Oh, okay.
we lost.
That's probably why you joined in.
And I was like, well, that obviously doesn't count. So I wait matchmaking. It recycles into the biggest map in the game.
Excellent.
And instead of like the 3 capture points that I was used to, this one had 5 total.
Surprise.
And we almost, like, it was such a even keeled fight for the longest time that we almost ran out the time limit, which is about an hour or maybe a little over an hour in that game mode.
Holy crap.
And something that people don't do in Battlefield 5 is they have a tendency to not utilize their kit to its fullest potential, which is really annoying.
Are you saying that some gamers are bad? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I say.
Right. But so the I'm trying to find it here because I took a picture of the final scoreboard, and I ended up switching to a sniper and using the hell out of my spotting scope, which is not something that most people do.
Yeah.
Like every now and then you might get a spotting flare, but
did you by any chance take a screenshot on Xbox Live?
I did, yes, and I just got it pulled up.
Well, check this out. Check it.
Okay.
Check it.
Oh, are you throwing it up for us?
Yeah, if I can find it.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep talking while you do that then.
Yeah.
So I ended up in second place on my team. My squad was the best squad in the game. No surprise there. And I was only in second by 900 points, which is like the rough equivalent of 9 kills. Depending
Ignore
on
that.
like your
Ignore that.
distance, what weapon you're using, that kind of thing. Um, it may not be 9 kills, it may be less, but that's, semantics. But the guy above me had 89 kills and 60 deaths, and I had 58 kills and 39 deaths.
Damn.
And I can't remember the exact ratio, but I think it was like 37 of my kills were headshot kills.
Yeah.
Because it was a map with a lot of height advantage. So the enemy team was doing a lot of like, oh, well, we're just gonna, sit here with machine guns and not move, but kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And that was working for a little while. And then I just busted out sniper, started popping headshots left and right. I eventually ended up like flanking behind them and placing a spawn beacon, so I just like walked in behind them and was like just picking people
Yeah.
off from like 5 feet away, but they didn't know I was there. It was
Very nice.
good times.
I have no idea if anyone's going to be able to read that. This is not the real way that I want to be able to show media, but I couldn't get the webcam to show up in the way that I wanted to enable us to use other layouts. But that's the scoreboard, I guess.
You guess.
Yeah, I guess. Let's see, I can make it a little bit bigger, whatever. we can show. Let's see. Yeah, we can show Ben's score there. He's 58 and 39, pretty good.
Ooh. There it is, covering up your face.
Yeah, well, So Ben's team is on the left, and and the enemy team's on in my screen. Oh man. But yeah. So there you go. It's proof.
Yeah. Anyways,
you gotta watch your fingers.
That yeah. That was my long drawn out way of saying I'm a little bit tired because I was up later than what I wanted to be last night.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Hey, but you had fun. You had a good game.
I did.
That's all that matters.
Quite fun.
Yeah. I haven't played much this past week. Like I played a little bit of Gears here and there.
Yeah.
Last night I stayed up late with a friend playing chess. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of my free time, I'm taking up 3D modeling.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not, right?
I mean, I guess. That seems like a very complicated thing to just do for shits and giggles, but I mean, I guess as long as you're enjoying it, that's what matters.
It's kind of fun. It was surprisingly fun. Like I've basically done like one tutorial and then I made some chess pieces on my own that one turned out really good, but I did it in a really weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back and redo it. But yeah.
What program are you using?
I'm just Blender because I'm cheap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Blender 2.8 from what I hear is closer to what like 3DS and Maya and stuff like that kind of layout.
Gotcha.
So like I think like 2.7 was around for like 4 years and now like the beta for 2.8 is out. So yeah, it's been fun. It's kind of like, I made a donut. Turned out pretty good.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been spending some time doing. Haven't played as much games as I would have liked. But such is life. I also started reading again. But this is a gaming podcast, so we're going to do that.
I'm going to say it's like I can talk about that kind of for a while because I've started reading again as well. It's been a while since I've actually finished a book, but I've now finished one and I'm halfway through another. So
nice. Yeah, so the problem with me, like, it's very similar to like watching a TV show or playing a game.
You get bored?
No, I get like very invested. You get bored with movies, or in TV shows and stuff. I don't. I get very invested and I have to finish it. So, my friend like lent me the book. It's the first book in the Wheel of Time series. and I didn't read it for the longest time. Like I had it for like 3 months, and then I went on vacation. On the way back, I was like, all
Hmm.
right, I'm gonna finally read this. So I like, read for 2 hours on the plane, and I was like, well, crap. So the like basically the like I finished it like the next day, and like it's like a 800-page book, and I just sat down and read it for like 8 hours,
Nice.
because I suck. So now I'm trying to find like an 10-hour block to finish the second book. um, but yeah, anyway,
That's fair.
so we are here on Split Couch Games because we are a gaming podcast, not a book
Yes.
discussion.
Yeah,
But
not a life diatribe.
anyway, but it's good to always catch up and see like what we're doing. Maybe like let people funnel into the thing. Um, so anyway, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. Um, so let's talk about the big news story first. We kind of talked about it briefly, and we don't have a whole lot to say on it. But basically, Destiny now has full publishing rights to Destiny, and I know a lot of people are excited
Uh,
about that.
you mean Bungie has full publishing rights to Destiny?
Did I say
Not.
Destiny?
Yeah, you said Destiny has full publishing rights to Destiny.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would say. I was up late too, so
The game will publish itself.
it's become self-aware. Yeah, Bungie's AI is top notch nowadays. Anyway, yeah, so Bungie has full publishing rights for Destiny, and everyone's like freaking out, like, "Hey, that's super exciting." I like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's probably a good thing, but it's time will tell. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Time will definitely tell, and there's not much more that we can say than that.
yeah,
So,
um,
you know,
yeah. I mean, there's no way to tell like how much Activision was behind certain decisions and how much Bungie was behind certain decisions, and I mean, yeah. So it's gonna be a thing, and definitely exciting to see. It's always, not gonna say always, but it's always cool and interesting to see what happens when there's not publisher oversight, because it kind of lets a little bit more like making like a choice for what makes a good game as opposed to what makes the most money has a lot more room to be there. So
yeah.
yeah,
So you may know
I know
this,
nothing.
whereas I don't, because just based off of what you just said, it is a publisher-less thing more common than what it used to be outside of indie games?
I mean,
Because I mean, I feel like in terms of AAA at least, all of like the big studios and everything, they all have publishers, whether it's they are owned by the
mhm.
publisher or otherwise.
I
Like
think
I
that
honestly can't think of any others. So
it. I think that there's sort of two camps. I think there's the true indie games that are like your Undertales, like the small like couple hour long like story driven stuff, and then there's like the big examples where it's maybe a game like League of Legends is technically indie because Riot is its own, but like I think Riot technically publishes it,
hmm.
but like Riot makes it as well. So I think it's like that kind of situation. Um,
Gotcha.
but like I mean, like Fortnite would technically be an indie game because Epic developed it. Epic developed it. Epic is publishing it on their
Yeah, that's true.
platform. So like I don't like it. I feel like that
Yeah,
relationship is changing into like
yeah, it's definitely evolving.
yeah.
I just like I hadn't really thought about it at all until you said that, and I was like, is that like a more common thing than what it used to be for like bigger studios to not have a
Yes,
publisher?
I
And
think it. I think
yeah,
it definitely is.
definitely is.
Um,
It kind of makes me honestly wonder, like, if we're gonna see this end up happening with any other studios, in the coming, months or years or something.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like Tim is in the chat. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim. Wait,
Yeah.
why is it not showing up for me? You didn't say anything.
Because you suck. That's why.
That.
Actually,
Oh.
if we're gonna be perfectly honest, I just have it up on my phone.
But
Like the
I just
stream.
it's not showing
So
up in the back end, but it's now showing up on the one that I have open over here. Anyway, hi Tim. Welcome to the YouTube streaming. Tim is an advocate for Twitch, but we have 1,000 subscribers here, and as you can see, they're all in the chat, so it's super super necessary for us to do this here. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, ouch, Tim. Ouch.
see, Tim gets it.
That's fair. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. It'll never happen, but I would love to see like BioWare be able to go independent again.
Yeah.
Or at least independent enough that they are not controlled by EA.
Can we make the argument that we just want to see EA not control everything?
Yeah.
I think that would be like not control Star Wars. That'd be great.
Yeah. It really bothers me that they have like control over all the potential game licensing in that regard.
It really sucks.
I know that like you don't necessarily want to have it, be open season, if you will.
No.
But it just really upsets me that it's EA that's responsible for it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping that Mass Effect Andromeda that followed up with Star Wars Battlefront 2 was less of a problem for those studios in the typical EA fashion of like, we're gonna shut you down type of thing.
You messed up because we gave you this impossible thing to do, and we butted in, and you were like, we have to blame someone.
Yeah. I'm hoping it was less of a problem for the studios and more of a wake-up call to EA that
it won't be.
That they don't necessarily know what's best for the players, and that maybe they should let the game developers be game developers and not just sweatshop workers or something.
You mean you hire game developers to develop games, and you hire a publisher to like basically like pay for it
to help fund the game?
Huh.
Yeah, weird how that works.
Ben, you're a fucking madman, a raving lunatic.
Yeah, well, that's it's kind of one of those things where it's like, in my opinion, I don't think that publishers should be publicly traded companies, but I understand why they have to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those double-edged swords type of things, because the publisher themselves, like, they have to care about the money and only the money, because that's all their shareholders care about.
Yeah.
And if their shareholders aren't happy, then they won't do well as a business. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Like it's a balancing act that like I understand that like they have to do that, and they have to take care of their money stuff. But it's one of those things where it's like they buy these franchises, or like these developers that own these franchises, and then they're like they're successful on their own, and instead of being like, hey, look, we just want you to make it better, because what your fans like, you've made good games in the past, we're going to insert ourselves into this. Instead of just like basically investing in you, we're going to now like own you and like turn everything into
we're gonna constantly be like, that was good, but can you do it again but make more money?
And with microtransactions, because
but I mean, that's the thing, is like the microtransactions are essentially, they are a result of that type of behavior. It's not necessarily a make more money, also put in microtransactions. It's more of a, hey, microtransactions are a way to make more money.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we've discussed on the channel before, like, microtransactions have kind of become one of those like necessary evils almost when it comes to games that are
Yeah.
constantly updated and worked on, and are essentially a living world of sorts.
Yeah.
Whether you want to call it an MMO light, or even just something like Fortnite, where it's persistently being updated and
Yeah.
improved upon and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
And
even like your classic shooters, like I mean, Halo 5 has been going for almost 3 years, 4 years now.
yeah,
Like,
and
and that's
you
not
know
funded through DLC. That's funded through microtransactions.
yeah, and like you and I as the player, like, it's not fair to the developers to take the stance of like, well, I paid my $60,
Mm-hmm.
so like you shouldn't even try to get more money out of anyone. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to pay for the microtransactions, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying you have to buy microtransactions,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously like developers need to make the microtransactions something that is appealing but not necessary.
Mm-hmm. I
And that's why, like, personally, I've never had an issue with cosmetic only
yeah.
microtransactions. So
I think that there's so I'm okay with microtransactions again, like obviously
are
mostly
you there?
cosmetic.
You froze on my end. Oh,
Uh,
wait. Nope. Hey,
eh,
there it goes.
okay, there you go. Okay. Um, yeah, so like I'm absolutely okay with microtransactions, like you said, especially cosmetic. Um, may like I don't want to get into the types of microtransactions as much, but like I think the key is that there needs to be enough content without the microtransactions.
Yes.
And I think, and even in terms of like some cosmetics, one of my biggest things at the beginning of Gears of War 4, not 5. I'm excited for Gears 5, obviously, but
What?
it
Weird.
was there's basically at like as soon as you turn on the game, you had 5 human characters that you could play as and 5 swarm characters that you could play as. So the first week or so was a lot of seeing the exact same characters fighting like all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem now that like everyone's and it was pretty easy to get coins like in games and you didn't have to like purchase, but like instead of like the old system in Gears 3 where you could unlock up to like 40 characters pretty quickly, like you just go through like levels and stuff and you unlock them and it's like woo.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So like I feel like that was a bit of a misstep. It's a small misstep, but like that kind of thing where it's like, okay, to really enjoy the game, you do need to have like some customization that is not tied behind microtransactions or
Yeah.
even like earned currency or whatever. Yeah. And then Tim in chat says, "Halo still exists?" Question mark. And the answer is yes. They actually, funny story. There's a Halo 3 giant tournament happening this weekend.
I just saw that. I
Which
was
is
like, huh,
ridiculous.
interesting.
Like, I don't know exactly what happened, but with the Master Chief Collection, something like changed, and all of a sudden the Master Chief Collection has blown up.
Well, they
So
started
massive.
updating it again. Like, they
Yeah,
started fixing bugs and stuff. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, it like it's so huge now, and like I think there's like over 100 teams competing, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Are you just like sitting there like waiting for Halo 3 to come back, and you're like, yes, this is my moment.
Yeah, now is my time.
Yeah, and but like I think Halo 5 still has its like circuit going, like basically alongside
Yeah,
Gears.
it does.
Yeah, I mean Halo's still pretty large. It's not, I think it's on the same scale as Call of Duty in terms of like prize pool and stuff. I think like Call
Yeah.
of Duty still gets a few more viewers just because it is cross-platform technically, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gears
and
of War gets
I
more
think,
viewers than Halo though, so just saying.
well, for now, I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, like, I'm basing this entirely off of popular opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess slightly my opinion. Um, I feel like if they made a better Halo game,
What?
it would, without a doubt, like, eclipse Gears of War by far. It would probably compete with Call of Duty in terms of audience, I would think.
Yeah, probably.
But like that's the key, because honestly, I feel like the biggest problems with the Halo 5 multiplayer specifically, like I'm not going to get into the campaign, because that's an entire conversation in and of itself,
I
but
think we've had that conversation.
we have, and it basically
Yeah.
boils down to, it was not great, but it also wasn't terrible. Eh.
Yeah.
um but the multiplayer specifically, I feel like the maps were, and again, to be clear to anybody listening, it's been a long time since I've played that game. I don't even think I stuck around for like the first set of like free DLC maps or anything like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It was
Oh
serious.
man.
I bailed on that game like a few months after launch, and
Yeah.
part of that was just simply because of other games coming out, but it was also mainly because I just didn't have fun with the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But specifically, the maps, I felt, by and large, were designed in a very strange way, because it was almost like it was trying to be like this Call of Duty Battlefield hybrid, which, I mean, like, logically speaking,
You're talking about the
if you were to
Warzone game
like
type then, right?
also the smaller maps, I mean, like the breakout maps and everything, um
Oh, I forgot that was a
I
thing. Holy Jesus.
that game mode is a really cool concept, but I hate the aesthetic. The whole like
Yeah.
holographic, like esportsy kind of look that specific map aesthetic has.
The funny thing
I
is that
hate it.
esports did not like grab onto that at all.
No, because why would it? Like,
Yeah.
half of the fun of watching a first-person shooter is having something in the background.
Yeah.
And when it's just blue and red and lines, like
Yeah.
you're fucking watching Tron or something, like nobody's gonna enjoy that. It's a very
Yeah.
bland palette,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's why it didn't succeed. But
That being
like,
said, it could be the most popular game type in Halo. We have no idea. At
yeah,
all.
yeah, because haven't played it in,
Yeah.
holy crap, like I don't. How many years has it been since that even came out?
All right, Ben, here's the deal.
That was
Sometime in the next couple of weeks, we're going to
2015?
hop on. We're going to stream some Halo 5.
Oh,
We're going to
I
do it.
mean, we could.
We're going to do it. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, I mean, it's like 100 some odd gig download, I think. So
Yeah, that could be a thing. It's fine.
because
We'll figure it out.
I thought about doing it.
Well, there you go.
Like
You
a
already
few
thought
mo-
about it, so it's happening.
Well, no, like a few months back, I was like, I kind of feel like playing some Halo. Like, and I thought about downloading Halo 5, and I went to like check, and it was gonna be like 85 gigs or something like that, and I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get into it.
We'll have to plan it.
Yeah.
So if we do it, I'm all on board doing it, but we have to plan it,
Yeah.
because a lot of my free time I do try and spend writing and that kind of thing. But also B, you know, I don't want it to turn into a, hey, you want to do it tonight? And it's like, okay, fucking give me 7 hours
Yeah.
while this downloads.
Yeah. We'll plan a day, and yeah, we'll get on stream and play some Halo 5, I guess. Oh boy. Anyway.
It'll be interesting. If we play SWAT, we might look kind of good, because that's like the one game mode that I can still play in that game.
Yeah, okay, we can play some SWAT. I feel like I could be pretty good at that.
Yeah, I think last time. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, the I did play on some of the first round of DLC maps, because I don't think SWAT came out until after that. And the like one and only time I ever ranked in SWAT, I was Onyx, and I have no idea where that stands, but I feel like it's kind of good.
Wait, did you say Onyx?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
I think that's like the third tier. So
Yeah.
like there would be like diamond, platinum, onyx or something, and then it
Yeah.
goes gold, silver, bronze, copper, some I don't know.
Yeah, something like
Who
that.
knows?
That's pretty good. Tim can tell that we're already regretting this decision, and he's absolutely right. It's gonna. I have a feeling that we're gonna play a game, and I'm gonna be like, this game is shit. Let's go play some Call of Duty. And go play
Yeah, I
Blackout.
haven't even I haven't even played Call of Duty in a long while. It's
I
been
updated it.
a day. Yeah, well, once Battlefield 5 came out, like I
Mm,
started playing that, and it's been really hard for me to play anything else in regards to multiplayer.
gotcha.
Um,
Is it that good?
just because I think so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely has its problems still. I don't want to make it sound like it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
Like the vaulting and time to death and everything are super fucking wonky. Like sometimes you'll have to like vault over the same rock like 12 times in order to get over it, and by then you're usually dead. So
All right.
um but that being said, those are things that they are actively working on fixing. And if you pay attention to like developer Twitters and everything, like they have videos and all that kind. So it'll be fixed soon, probably within like a month. So
Okay.
I don't know if it still is, but for a long time it was 50% off. So
Maybe next time it's on sale, I'll pick it up, and then never
yeah,
play it. Much like Battlefield 5 or
you mean
Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1?
Battlefield 1, yeah.
Don't worry, the naming conventions are not confusing. It's
Not
fine.
at all. Yeah. Hey, anyway. Um, really, YouTube censors Kappa, huh? All right, that's petty.
Where did it censor it? Or did it just not post what he said?
It probably just didn't post it. I don't know.
Huh.
Interesting. Anyway, Tim in the chat was trying to post make a joke, as he tries to do constantly.
Yeah.
Tim is my real life friend, which I was playing chess with last night.
Oh, so he's why you're so tired.
Yeah.
Fucker. Why'd you do that?
I mean, I would have gone to sleep at the same time anyway. Doesn't.
Oh, replaces it with a smiley face, apparently. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, um,
There's something else that you wanted to talk about.
yeah. Were we done talking about what we were talking about? I think so. I guess, yeah.
We derailed
We
so far.
derailed so far. We started somewhere and we ended up here. Apparently, we're streaming Halo 5 now, which I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, well,
But
that was your idea. I mean,
such a well, yeah. Anyway,
we'll talk about that off stream.
so kind of related to publishing, which we were on for a bit. The Division 2 has so Ubisoft, developer of Division 2, the Division series, I guess at this point,
Mhm.
is going to be on the Epic Games Marketplace and not Steam. How does that make you feel?
I don't know because you froze and there was
Son
no
of a
audio.
bitch. All right.
So Division 2, or Ubisoft developer Division 2 something. What'd you say?
Is Division 2 is going to be released on the Epic Games Marketplace and
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
not where it should be on Steam, as one might say.
So I have mixed feelings because on one hand, I don't give a shit because I don't play PC games. Um,
That's a pretty
like,
standard hand.
like I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like I don't play PC games. I have a PC that can play some games, but it's a laptop, so it's not the greatest.
And it also
And
took
it's
you
also
like 30
from
minutes to log into Discord.
yeah. Well, that's because apparently my computer shut down at some point, so it had to completely start back up, and then after it was done starting up, it was able to launch Discord. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But so I don't super care because I don't really play PC games. If I do play any PC games, it's likely at work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a pretty hefty PC for my job, and they allow me to install games on it and everything, so it's pretty cool. And so On the other hand, I also don't think it's a bad thing
Yeah.
at all, just simply because Steam does need competitors. Steam's a great platform as it is, if you ask me, but
Oh, it's fantastic.
it's just the only one, really. I mean, like, yeah, there's, GOG, and there's all the different stores that have spun up from, like EA and everything like that. And it'll be nice to see, assuming that Ubisoft does this with all of their games, them integrating into a larger platform instead of having their own niche little thing. Because the last thing anybody wants is to have like 40 different game marketplaces installed onto their computer.
Yeah.
So the fact that Epic Games is making their own, I think it's a little, I don't want to say weird, but just interesting, I guess, because they don't really seem like the type of people that, or like they don't seem like the type of company that would do that. But I'm sure a lot of people felt that way in regards to Steam when that first started from Valve, because like they make games. What is this? And
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting.
Really quick,
That's what it boils down
you mentioned
to.
Origin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Origin
Origin
sucks.
and Play. Origin is not great. No.
Yeah. But that's
Honestly, that's like one of the main reasons I don't own Battlefield 5 on the computer I have at work, is just simply because I don't want to have to deal with Origin and everything. Like I'm convinced that I would have fun, but I don't want to deal with Origin.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I didn't know this. Or I knew about Steam's number. I didn't know about Epic, or the Epic Game Store. I guess the Epic Marketplace. That Steam takes 30% of the money, and Epic is only taking 12%. And when you're talking,
I think I
about
remember seeing that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Kotaku article about it.
Oh, okay.
From Cecilia D'Anastasio, whatever. But yeah, so assuming that number is correct, that is a big chunk of change, especially when you're talking about a AAA game like The Division.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't imagine honestly, what EA takes in Origin and all that.
Yeah.
Or is Origin only EA games?
Origin's only EA.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like how Uplay is only Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So it's not even like an actual marketplace. It's just like a place where they put their games. Kind of like what Blizzard Launcher used to be before they incorporated Destiny in there.
Yeah. What a... Huh. Okay. The Division is developed with the Snowdrop engine, so it's not even an Unreal Engine game that's going to be on the Epic. That's interesting to note as well, that they're not tying it to, oh, you have to make it with the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, they were pretty clear about where they stood in regards to all of that kind of stuff. Like they were pretty open. They were just like, if you want to release a game on here, like, that's fine. Just come.
We'll take anything at this point, because we're trying to catch up to Steam.
Yeah, they're just trying to establish a reason for people to come to their store and everything.
So I guess an interesting question is, so similar to how Valve was a game developer that then created Steam, is Epic might be the only studio that I can think would make sense for something like this.
Hi, Shaxi.
We have a large dog.
Yes, he's down right over here. You can't see him.
We can hear the panting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure you can hear him, but
he's a for those listening, we won't be able to... Ben, why don't you just pick him up and put him in the camera?
That's easier said than done. He's 130 pounds, so
he's a big boy. Lovely, and just so sweet. Just very large.
Yes, very, very large.
But yeah, so basically, I guess, so you have Epic, who owns the Unreal Engine, which powers so many different games.
Hmm.
Um, they have a decent track record of making their own games as well.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Fortnite is obviously a huge success whether you like the game or not. Um,
Yeah.
made my favorite game of all time, obviously. But like Unreal Tournament was a big game back in the day, all that kind of stuff.
I wish they would bring that back, but like, don't do anything fancy with it. Release it on consoles as well, because I think technically it is back, but it's PC only.
Yeah, there's
Like,
like the community, which is like literally just like here, community build the game. It's like here's like the shooter mechanics. Now you make the maps, you make the characters, you make the guns, and all
yeah.
that, and like we'll put them in. Like, all right, why not? Like, so like Epic might be the only developer that could get away with this because like they're almost a publisher in their own right, but like they don't really publish things. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with you. Agree with you there. I mean, they basically are another Valve. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they have made games. They have their own engine.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a marketplace that they're going to be dealing with, and um, I don't know
They also have the
necessarily.
money. They have the money to compete with Valve.
Sure. Yeah.
Is a big key.
Um, yeah. That's definitely a big item there because Valve obviously didn't have tremendous amounts of money, you know, when they first started
But they didn't
making
have
Steam and everything like that.
competitors.
Yeah, they didn't have any competitors. And so when, you know, they made this thing and they were like, now it's super easy to release a game on PC because people don't have to buy a disc.
Mm-hmm.
You know, developers were like, oh, that could actually save us some money. And I think technically for some of the like really big games you can still buy like a physical box from the store when
Yeah,
it comes to PC games, but like you open it up and there's
it's like a
a
code.
bunch of like filler crap and then it's a download code.
Yeah, it's like
So
if
like
you
you
want to
don't even
like
get a disc anymore.
yeah, if you want to display your purchase for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and it could like because like you said, Steam is really good, but it hasn't really changed
Yeah.
like in 5 years.
Yeah. And even, you know, kind of going beyond that, Steam in and of itself is a form of DRM, which I know that there are a
Yeah.
lot of companies out there that don't particularly like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where Epic Games stands in that regard. I don't know if they would allow like any sort of DRM free games to be on their platform or not. And that just goes simply because, you know, it's like, well, how do you know like if
Mm-hmm.
you actually own it and everything, if it's you know, if like you don't log in or something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's an interesting thing, but I know that CD Project Red is a developer that's, you know, very like, you know, we're DRM free and everything.
Mm-hmm.
um and with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out, I'm curious if the Epic Game Store is going to be like, hey, look, you know, you can release that here, because
Yeah.
that would be a huge win for them, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that um I mean I think even like the Division 2 is a big win. Like I know that you and I we have stopped playing after like a month or whatever. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um but like it kept its popularity throughout. So yeah, that's definitely a big win and maybe like future Ubisoft launches with maybe like if they ever stop updating Rainbow Six Siege 2. Is it Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Siege 2? Oh, whatever. If they
Nope.
ever stop updating
Nope.
Siege, it's just one. Yeah, there's just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess if there's ever Siege 2, which there might not ever be because they seem like they're going off of like a League of Legends idea here where it's like we're just going to keep releasing things and you're going to
Yeah.
buy them because fuck you. They did it.
Because you like playing this game.
That was an amazing turnaround for a game, though. Holy shit! Did that?
It really was, and I'm honestly still a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
Um, I've been playing it a little bit at work because on PC, like you can buy it for $15, I think.
Oh hell yeah.
And like it's the starter version, which I think you only get like 2 characters or something like that
Okay.
with. But that being said, I have like 6 or 7. I don't know how. I'm really confused as to how.
Well,
So
you've played for
I'm
20 hours and yeah.
I'm just I'm rolling with it. I don't know if maybe like it's linked to my Xbox version or something because like
Oh, do you have an Xbox version?
well, no, I don't.
Okay.
But I've played a free
Oh, okay.
weekend or
Gotcha.
two, so I don't know if it like linked those 2 accounts together and now it's
Mm-hmm.
confused or what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting game. I haven't really played any online yet. I'm still trying to just kind of get used to it. 'Cause, like it was literally like I booted
Mm-hmm.
it up for the first time yesterday.
Gotcha.
Um, so I'm just trying to like get used to the controls and the speed of the game and everything like that. And like
Slow.
from what I watch of other people, it seems way more engaging than any time that I have ever played it. So I don't know if the game has just changed that much
Mm.
or if I just always happen to catch like
Are you watching
really fun moments.
are you watching people playing PvP or PvE?
I didn't know there was a PvE,
Well, there you
but
go.
I'm assuming PvP
Okay.
because it looked pretty standard fare. You
Mm-hmm.
know, just like standard like 5v5, and
Mm-hmm.
they had really weird names and everything. So it wasn't just like
Yeah.
terrorist or anything. It
Yeah,
was
so like the PvE modes are like there's kind of like a horde mode where you have to kill 50 terrorists in a building.
oh
So
okay,
you clear them out and all that.
gotcha.
Um but yeah, no, yeah, like actual like so from what I can understand, Siege PvP is really fun once you understand how to play Siege PvP. Like,
Mm,
but getting there and like realizing like being good at the game requires like knowing like okay, I'm gonna turn this corner and I'm gonna look this way because that's the hallway that there's gonna be a guy,
yeah,
and you're gonna like pre-fire that corner because you know for like 99% sure that there is a guy right there because that's where you sit. And
yeah,
like there's like a level of like intensity that comes with that, but like until you get to that point you're kind of running around with your head cut off because you're like I'm gonna run through this door, oops, there's 3 people looking at me.
yeah.
So it seems like it's a punishing game, um but I've thought about getting it on Xbox to play with Steve,
Mm.
but there's part of me that's
Uh,
like that seems like a very PC oriented game, and I think I would rather play on a PC. I don't know.
I mean, I would definitely play it on Xbox if I had people to play with. That's kind of my thing.
Okay. So what you're
Is
saying is that if I got it, then it would be you, me, and Steve rolling a 3-man squad, shooting
yeah.
people in the face. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
You'll keep that in mind.
That this is interesting. This sounds more fun than Halo 5, to be honest with you.
yeah.
But no, we're still gonna do the Halo 5. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep you posted on the whether or not I purchase Siege on the Xbox.
I mean, personally, and this is just my opinion, um, if that's something that we would do, I would think that it would be best if we waited for the next sale because typically the standard version of the game will go on
Yeah,
sale
yeah,
for like $5-10.
yeah,
So
for sure, for sure. Yeah. That's kind of speaking of Steam. That's kind of ruined me for buying games at full price. It's like, why would I do this when, especially Siege goes on sale pretty frequently
yeah,
because they really just they want you in the game. They don't care. They're just like
yeah.
at this point I'm surprised that they don't just like we're going free to play. Just get in the game.
Yeah, for like the super basic version where it's like you get 2 characters.
Yeah.
That like they really should. I'm surprised they haven't. but I
It
mean, it's
might
working.
be.
So
Yeah, it might just be like so many people have purchased the game, like they'd be upset that like I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
who knows?
Anyway, we are coming up on 53 minutes, so I think we're gonna call it there. Unless you
Sounds
had
fair.
any other things you wanted to talk about.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well then, we will. Thank you guys for tuning in, especially Tim for being super chatty in the chat. For anyone else who stopped by, I know a couple of other people stopped by, but they didn't say anything. Thank you guys for stopping by. You can, if you missed any of it, you can catch the. There will be an archive version out tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time on Split Couch Games. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me pull up the outro. Say something funny, Ben. So
I you can't
perfect.
put me on the spot.
Nailed
like that.
it. You fucking
What?
nailed it
No.
perfectly.
Why?
Fantastic.